We took players got a couple days off for the Thanksgiving break there, and then they'll be back in to work here tomorrow. So I don't have a ton to give you on uh, their where we're at with them. So in the injury update, the guys are working to get themselves healthy right now. So that everybody's in the process. Josh is getting a second evaluation on his wrist, and we'll just see what goes from there. And then the other guys, the Trays and JT, all those guys are improving as they go forward here. So we'll see how they do here in the next couple days. Um, as far as the game goes, the obvious is the penalty situation. We got to make sure we take care of business with the penalties and keep working our fundamentals and techniques. And I'm not telling you I agree with all of them, but or half of them, but I will tell you that they took place. And so we're not going to use that as any kind of an excuse. We're going to work on getting better at what we do and can control. So and then we'll take it from there. I thought the effort was good. I thought the guys that stepped in um, did a nice job on the offensive line. We had a couple, three guys that had played in there that hadn't played in there, but had opportunities to play where they started, or a couple of them had to come into the game. But listen, they've all played in games. They've all started games, and so we've got trust in them that if called on here, they'll be ready to go. Um, and still with all this, I mean, I know people are, people in media included, and I get it, but we're still in the mix right here, which is a great thing. And the guys, once they get back here, they'll be ready to go, and we'll head through the practice coming up and get ourselves ready to play against a good Texan team. And they are good. They're one of the top defenses in the National Football League, top third down defense in the National Football League. So, and they've got a great defensive front and so on. So but again, we get ourselves ready to play, and that's our primary focus. We're fortunate to play here at home at GH Field at Arrowhead Stadium with our fans, and we know we tighten up a couple of things here. We're right there to put a push on here these last few games. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
Let's go ahead and start with Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Thanks, Sid. I'll have a second if I could. Coach, fair to say that Wanye Morris is the second swing tackle up, and if it did come to him, just confidence level and what he can do.
Yeah, Wanya went in and had a chance to play in the game, and I thought after the first couple of plays, he really settled in and did a nice job there. So we should, but yes, I mean he would be one of the potential guys in there.
And then I guess the other thing is that a lot of times in these tough times that you point to the fact that the system, the offense and the defense are close. I guess, do you feel that way now? And I guess what tells you that?
Yeah, so Pete, you're one or two plays away, and that's what this game is. I mean, you look at our season, we're one or two plays off, and we've got to take care of that. Whether it's a penalty at a crucial time, possible turnover somewhere, or having a chance to create a turnover. We're right in position where if we can figure out those 2-3 plays, you flip this around. I mean, you're talking 3-point game, one score games here that we're dealing with. So, but you've got to do that, and you got to figure that out. And that's our challenge as coaches. We got to make sure we're putting the guys in the right position. Got to make sure we're mentally prepared to play 4 quarters, and then have a positive attitude. You're not going to hear a lot of positive from the outside coming in. So you got to make sure that you understand where you really sit and the opportunities that you have sitting in front of you. And I know our fans understand that. I mean, you guys understand it. You're here, but and you know that there's still opportunities.
We'll go next to Soren Petro.
And I'll have a couple as well. Coach, you said a number of times, but a couple of things. I'm curious, is it the same couple of things every week, or do you feel like you're kind of chasing a couple of different things each time that you fix one thing and something else breaks down? How would you classify, that?
Yeah, well, listen, you got to take care of the holding calls on the offense. So we've got to make sure we take care of that part. And then on the defensive side, when we have opportunities there, whether it's third down to get off the field, you got to get off the field. So those are things that we can work through. Guys are pushing through some things. George is out there busting his tail. Now he's got the bad hand and he's trying to work through that and get that taken care of. But a fumble that might be right there. Well, make sure you're following the play, get on the play, or an interception that goes through your hands. Make sure we squeeze the ball. So those are things we can take care of. Those are things that we control, and we take care of. So I think we can pinpoint the things that are going on and work on them and fix them.
What about drops? I know you had a couple that resulted in big interceptions early on. You had a couple in this game that were critical moments. Is that highlighted just because you're not coming up on the winning side, and maybe we as media, you mentioned media fans, coaches, we kind of forget about it when it's a win, it just kind of fades away, but it stands out more. Or do you look at? I know you guys chart all that stuff. Do you look at it and say drops are a bigger problem for us this year?
Yeah, well, we had the one at the end. I mean, there was one at the end, and Reid normally doesn't drop a football, so that's not his deal. And the Kelce one there was a penalty on the play, so it didn't kind of negated that whole thing. But those guys, you talk about either one of those two, and they've made the great plays too. So I don't look at that as something that's hindering us. I mean, that's not something we've got to take care of the penalty part of it. I think Soren, as we go forward here, and just get that.
Travis Kelce is quietly carrying a massive load for the Kansas City Chiefs offense when they need him most. But whether that represents a heartwarming story or a warning sign for the franchise remains up for debate. The 2025 Kansas City Chiefs have shown remarkable consistency in certain areas. Patrick Mahomes continues putting up impressive aerial statistics, and the offense maintains a solid 25.4 points per game average. However, recent results paint a more complicated picture. Sitting at 6-6 as they approach Week 14, the Chiefs desperately need contributions from their entire roster. Surprisingly, one of those key contributors happens to be among the oldest players on the team. Travis Kelce has emerged as a genuine revelation this season in one crucial area: yards after catch. Current league statistics rank him 8th overall with 375 yards after catch, trailing only a select group of the most explosive offensive weapons in football. For a veteran frequently mentioned in retirement speculation, this production feels like a defiant statement. Kelce continues delivering performances that directly impact winning. The importance of this metric cannot be overstated. Within a Mahomes-led system that frequently requires receivers and tight ends to convert short receptions into significant gains, the capacity to break tackles and prolong plays often separates stalled possessions from scoring chances. Kelce brings a unique blend of route intelligence, reliable hands, and post-catch awareness that creates a dependable safety valve. This reliability transforms potential 3-and-outs into productive drives that keep the offense moving. Yet the situation presents complications. When a veteran tight end leads the team in a category typically dominated by younger, more agile skill players, legitimate strategic questions emerge. Kansas City has made substantial investments in young receivers and offensive weapons expected to become the next wave of playmakers. Fans and analysts naturally wonder where those contributions have gone. Are Rashee Rice and other emerging pass catchers being deployed effectively in space? Do the offensive schemes maximize their ability to win individual matchups and generate production after the catch? These represent fair concerns without suggesting any lack of talent among younger players. Football development rarely follows a straight line. However, when margins shrink during midseason struggles, the team's heavy reliance on Kelce's veteran dependability becomes simultaneously advantageous and problematic. If Kelce chooses retirement after this season, Kansas City loses more than statistical output. They lose a playmaking identity that others have not consistently replicated. If you're enjoying this breakdown of what makes the Chiefs offense tick, hit that subscribe button so you never miss our next deep dive into the game's biggest stories. What should Kansas City do moving forward? The straightforward answer involves adaptation and acceleration. The coaching staff can modify schemes to create more yards after catch opportunities for Rice and other speed threats through motion packages, quick screens, and route concepts designed for post-catch success. Player development must become paramount, emphasizing tackle-breaking technique, vision drills for reading downfield blocks, and increased repetitions working in open space during practice sessions. Personnel decisions this offseason should prioritize players capable of creating after the catch rather than solely focusing on vertical threats. Meanwhile, Kelce deserves full recognition for his achievements. He has earned the right to proper celebration as a skilled veteran still influencing games at an elite level. If his presence keeps Kansas City competitive throughout this campaign, that reflects tremendous credit to his conditioning and craftsmanship. The concern is not about Kelce's ongoing excellence. Rather, it centers on the prospect of depending on a future Hall of Famer as the primary yards after catch generator while younger talent awaits their opportunity. If Kansas City can transform the lessons from 2025 into a comprehensive plan that develops young talent while adjusting offensive schemes to better utilize their abilities, the current dependence on Kelce becomes a strategic bridge rather than an impending disaster. For now, Chiefs fans can appreciate both the nostalgia and victories Kelce continues providing. However, one question lingers in everyone's thoughts. When he eventually steps away, who will be prepared to assume that responsibility? Both the clock and playoff aspirations continue ticking forward relentlessly,